Hi, today I'm going to demonstrate how I use Corpus in an effects rack to process incoming audio or audio loops, and to then use a looper to capture those to make my own sample material. We have a very simple pad running here. I'll just give you an idea of what Corpus can do, along with some other effects, to manipulate audio. Corpus is part of the collision instrument in Ableton Live, I believe Standard and Suite. The Corpus is effectively just a physical modeling synthesizer, and Corpus is not the complete synthesis, effectively just the resonating part, so the drum, if you like. You don't have the hitting device to model here, you just have the resonator, so you can select things like pipes, tubes, beams, and hit them with things. And what we hit them, or what I will be hitting them with, is this pad and some various drum beats, and to use a series of macros here which I've set up to manipulate the effects in this rack to process the audio. Let's have a listen to what happens when we switch on Corpus effects device with this pad. We can have something like this, something like this, perhaps this one. We can control them with the macros. We have the various effects, I'll go through those in a second, and we can capture them with the looper. Here we go, I'll capture 4 bars of this. Now we have captured our loop. We could make this 4, 8, 12 bars. I'm not going to go into explaining how this was all set up, the effects rack. I've made another video on trying to copy the workflow of the Octatrack live looping. I'll link that up here and I'll put it in the description below, so you can have a look at that, if you're not sure how to set up these effects racks and how to link macros and create macro variations. That's all explained there. We could now drag this, put it up here, clear that. We now have our loop saved up here, so we can just build a series of loops. You can sit here in the afternoon, the morning, whatever you want, make a collection of loops, and then later use them in your music production. So let's delete that. Let's have a listen what happens if we put a drum beat through Corpus where it's hitting. In this case, what do we have here? We have it on a beam at the moment. That's the resonance body we've chosen, so we'll put a beat through. This function here, width, moves the resonating elements apart and gives you a stereo effect. Here it's effectively mono. Okay, so let's have a look at what's going on. Mute that. So we have a series of variations I've created here which change our macro settings. The macros here are connected to the various elements. Let's open them all up in this effects rack. Quite a lot going on here, but I'll explain very quickly what we have. First of all, we have a beat repeat, which is set to some very sort of subtle settings to just vary the incoming beats or audio very, very gently, not to make it too obvious. It's not sort of a roller effect, none of that. We can hear, if we go with the, let's click the beat again, put that back on, turn off that. Now if we turn on Corpus, you you can hear subtle variations in the beat, just to change it up a little bit. Turn that back off again. So we have a beat repeat, which is going into a redux, which allows us to break down the bit rate and the sample rates of the incoming audio to give us texture. Then Corpus, we'll have a look at that again in a second. Filter, set to high pass, a delay, reverb, and at the end I've got a compressor here to bind things together, and finally our looper to capture the audio. So let's select these ones. We can fold these up quickly and just concentrate on Corpus. As I said, this is a part of a physical modeling synthesizer, and I'm not going to go into explaining what all of these controls do, or the functions of, because you can quite simply click on the eye here, just have a quick read. This one adjusts the amplitude, makes it brighter or darker. This one I believe affects the opening of, in this case, a pipe. Is it a closed pipe? Is it an open pipe? You can tune, here we go, you can tune the incoming audio to approximately, let's have a listen to that. Turn this on. So we're a little bit off of, what are we here, A1 at the moment, 24 cents. Take it up to F. I believe C3 is the default setting. So you can play around C1 a little bit off, but it's way off, but okay. I think you get the idea. I'll bring it back. What we're on. I think it was on A1. So you can affect the tuning. You can detune here. Oh, sorry, spread. It's effectively a form of detune, I believe. The incoming audio, and if we look at the mapping, the majority of it is mappable. So I've mapped some functions I thought were useful in the creation of this effects rack. Okay, so as I say, I'm not going to go into depth on how these things work. For me, it's more the creative process. As I say, we can take a breakbeat like this, change it to our heart's content. So we see the whip here was effect, the Corpus whip that makes a mono signal. And for me, it's just a case of sitting here, messing around. So I find something I like. I think you get the idea. Once I've got a variation I like, here we can let's open up Corpus again so we can see what's going on. We have a pipe here. Change the radius of the pipe, the decay, the hit in the pipe. Got all our other effects. Works with pads. Sample rate adds texture. A bit careful there, get a bit. we can change the resonance type. We go from a pipe here, let's try something else. A plate, membrane, string, turn the decay down a bit. Introduce more of the high frequencies. Try a different resonance type, marimba. I think pads are more difficult because Corpus is really set up for percussive sounds, but you can, with a little bit of experimentation, get some interesting effects out of it. Okay, well, I'll leave you to experiment with those things. As I say, just some insight into how I try to use the different effects within Ableton. It's very powerful. I mean, you can build things, capture your audio. It's really great. The link for building this, as I say, will be in the video description, and I think you saw it come past on a card before. Have some fun, enjoy yourselves. Thanks for coming by. I'm Andrew. Take care. Bye-bye.